Just one letter and one digit, but they carry a lot of weight. M and 5. This is the 2018 BMW M5. The car you see here is the latest high-performance sedan from BMW, featuring a twin-turbo V8, 8-speed automatic, all-wheel drive, and a long heritage dating back to the 1980s. This car has an optional color costing almost $5,000 called Marina Blue Metallic. Other options include an almost $5,000 Bowers & Wilkins Diamond Surround sound system, which I'd take a pass on. The interior is finished in Silverstone full merino leather, $1,500 for an M Sport exhaust system, which kind of should be included, and $1,200 for a carbon M engine cover. Other things to note, this car has a carbon roof, but no sunroof. Please forgive the sunglasses. Usually I never wear sunglasses, but got a burst blood vessel in my eye, and trust me, you don't want to see that. All right, we are in the M5. As I mentioned, iconic letter and an iconic number. That means you are getting the best from Bavaria. BMW puts as much as they can into this car to showcase all of the performance that they have, and this has been an icon for a reason. These are just absolutely the pinnacle of handling and performance, and this car doesn't stray from that formula. What's new for this 6th generation of M5 is all-wheel drive and a whole lot of electronic aids to make the job of driving this car really quite easy. And I'm going to get into, is this the best M5? If you're just looking at straight performance, absolutely. It makes a run to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.4 seconds, a run to 200 kilometers an hour in just 11 seconds. That is amazing. And you can up from 600 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque to the competition model of this car, which adds another 25 more horsepower. So this latest 6th generation has more horsepower, it's got more torque, and the torque comes on at just 1,800 RPM, 553 pound-feet of torque. Unbelievable. And, you know, pretty damn good sound as well. What's happened with the M5 over the years? It started out as an inline 6-cylinder, and then they went to a V8 engine with the E39. Then they went to a V10, my least favorite of the bunch, back to a twin-turbo V8, and now, because of all-wheel drive, they're able to take all of the different systems that BMW has developed and make this car do pretty much anything you want. So you have the ability with this car to change so many different settings. It's really a long, long list. The first is, you can have this car run in automatic all-wheel drive, you can put it in sport all-wheel drive, and you have the ability for those purists, rear-wheel drive. That's pretty incredible. You get to select whether you want all-wheel drive or two-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. You have to turn off the DSC system in order to activate all-wheel drive sport or just rear-wheel drive, which gives the car a lot more slip. You can adjust it in the system to give you as much angle as you want. So this is designed for people that are going to track this car, and I highly doubt an executive that's buying this car is tracking it. They want this because it's prestigious, it's the biggest dog on the block, and it can go fast. But taking it to the track, most people who have this kind of money who go to the track probably take a Carrera of some kind. So yes, you can have all-wheel drive, you can just have rear-wheel drive. Then you have the transmission. It's a Steptronic 8-speed automatic. You can make the shifts more precise or less precise. On top of that, you can make the steering light or you can make it soft. The shocks, you can make them stiffer or softer. You can have the engine more responsive or less responsive. You take all of these things and you can make a couple of favorites on the steering wheel. You have an M1 switch and an M2 switch, so you can set the car up for just the way you like to drive it and turn it on and off at will. Those are all good things. They're all great things. This car makes you feel like a rock star. It makes you feel like you are somebody that really knows what they're doing behind the wheel. It makes a good driver look great and a great driver look freaking awesome. But, it's giving me a speed warning. But the bigger question, is it more fun to drive? Well, I would argue cars like this are what I call point and squirt cars. You send them in the direction you want to go, you push on the throttle, the engine lights up, it makes you feel great, but it's a fleeting sort of thing. It's kind of like a Tesla with their ludicrous modes. Yeah, it's fun to do once or twice, it's fun to show your friends, it's a neat party trick, but after a while, it gets kind of boring. You want something more. Now, I will say with this car, it's the kind of car that you would take on a long trip cross-continent and absolutely be comfortable, relaxed, safe, secure. It will do anything you want at a moment's notice, and it'll do it all without any fuss. All of that is absolutely true. But for everyday use, I gotta be honest with you, I would get bored with this car. I spent all this money, I have all of this performance, but I don't know. These kinds of cars are just, they're point and squirt cars. Which brings me to a point I want to make. Probably the best M5 of all time was the E39. Now, driving enthusiasts and motor journalists like myself will tell you that all the time. Why was that? Well, you had a 400 horsepower, beautiful balanced chassis, no electronic aids, you had a manual transmission, just a really well-designed car. A car that made you work for the best possible driving dynamics and made you work for getting the most out of the engine, for the suspension and the steering. You had to work the car in order to make it fun to drive. It's a wonderful driving experience because it doesn't have all of these aids. It doesn't have all of this technology. For me, a modern car that has that sort of same visceral feel as the old E39 would be a car like a Mustang GT350. It just is a great balanced chassis. Yes, it has Magno Ride to give you the adaptive suspension, but outside of that, with the manual transmission, it's man and machine doing the work together. This is the machine helping the man drive the car. And you know what? It gets kind of boring. Why do you think the price of E39 M5s is skyrocketing? Why are the prices of old air-cooled 911s going up? Because people miss that connection between the car, the driver, and the road. Is this era of M5 going to be collectible? Well, time will tell. My guess is it's just going to be another depreciating, expensive luxury car. There's nothing really about it that sets it apart from what Mercedes-Benz is doing over at AMG. They produce high horsepower cars with all of these electronics. Sure, BMW does it better than most. In fact, this car won the World Performance Car of the Year award for 2018. It has 2 Guinness World Records for drifting. All of that's great. But is it a soulless car? It's not soulless, but I don't know. It just doesn't tickle me in the right ways. So power and speed is great. Absolutely fantastic. You want to go somewhere in a hurry, you can do that. But if you want to get somewhere 0 to 60 in a hurry, buy a Tesla. But that's not what a performance car is about. A performance car is about this all-encompassing sensation you have when you drive it. You get out of it and you walk away and you go, that was fun. That put a smile on my face. This car does that to a certain extent, but will it do it 6 months, a year, 2 years from now? I don't think so. I think, I'm going to go right to the exact opposite end of the scale on this one. You get a Miata, an MX-5. You drive that for 2 or 3 years. That car will still put a smile on your face pretty much every single time you drive it. It's not about more, it's about the right balance. And we're getting away from that with these cars. All right, let's get into what BMW does with their interiors. This is an impeccably put together car. There's absolutely no question. The materials, the fit, the finish, the way it feels. The iDrive system is so easy and intuitive to use now. You've got a wireless charging system. You've got sumptuous seats with ventilation. It's just absolutely at the highest level of quality. But then again, BMW is sort of evolving their cars. They're not taking any chances with their interiors, where other brands are taking massive chances and they're being rewarded with better sales. BMW is sort of, to me, kind of stuck with their exterior styling. Is just an evolution, and their interiors look very similar to what they did 10 years ago. There's better materials, there's better interfaces, all of that, but there's really no chances being taken out there. Don't get me wrong. This is a wonderful car. It really is unbelievably composed. Unbelievable engine with that twin turbo, silky smooth V8. The transmission shifts oh so quickly. The car is so confident. It's so quick. It's so well done. They know what the hell they're doing. This car is a beast. It's a beast. There's no getting around it. It's just not the beast that I would ever own. If I want a beast car, give me a Mustang GT 350. That's a beast with attitude and soul. This is quickly becoming an appliance. All right, I've ranted long enough. You're going to flame me, I know, in the comments, but I can take it.